Police stop a black woman, then realize she's their new chief. It was a rainy Monday morning in Crestwood, a small suburban town where everyone knew each other's business. The police department had been abuzz for weeks with rumors about the arrival of their new chief. Most of the officers speculated about who it could be, assuming it would be someone local or, at least, someone who fit the mold of the previous leadership. What they didn't know was that Chief Olivia Monroe was nothing like her predecessors. Olivia was a trailblazer. Growing up in the inner city, she faced more than her share of challenges. She excelled academically, earning degrees in criminal justice and psychology. After years of climbing the ranks in a major metropolitan police department, Olivia was selected to bring her innovative ideas and strong leadership to Crestwood. But Olivia wasn't one to make grand entrances. She believed in observing her surroundings before making any decisions. Dressed in plain clothes, she decided to drive to Crestwood for her first day, without the formality of a police escort or official announcement. As Olivia entered the town limits, her car, a modest black sedan, caught the attention of two patrol officers parked at the side of the road. Officers Mark Hensley and Tom Garrett were seasoned cops who prided themselves on knowing every face in the town. Seeing an unfamiliar vehicle, their instincts kicked in. Mark leaned over to his partner. "That car doesn't belong around here," he muttered. Tom shrugged. "Let's check it out." They pulled out behind Olivia's car, flashing their lights. Olivia noticed them and pulled over calmly. Rain trickled down her windshield as she rolled it down to greet the approaching officers. Mark approached with a flashlight, despite it being broad daylight. His tone was curt. "License and registration." Olivia reached for her documents without hesitation. "Sure thing, officer." Mark eyed her suspiciously. "What brings you to Crestwood?" "Just moving in," Olivia replied casually. Tom, standing slightly behind Mark, crossed his arms. "Moving in, huh? Whereabouts?" Olivia looked at him with a calm but firm gaze. "I don't think that's relevant, officer." Mark's suspicion deepened. "Look, we don't get many strangers here, and we've had some issues lately, just doing our job." Olivia handed over her license and registration, remaining silent as Mark walked back to the patrol car. Tom lingered, his stance tense. "You seem awfully calm," Tom said. "Most people get a little nervous when the police pull them over." Olivia smiled faintly. "I've had plenty of experience with law enforcement." Tom frowned, his unease growing. Meanwhile, in the patrol car, Mark ran Olivia's information. His jaw dropped when the screen lit up with her credentials. "No way," he whispered. He double-checked, thinking it was a mistake. Tom noticed his partner's reaction and walked back to the car. "What's up?" Mark turned the screen toward Tom, his face pale. She's the new chief." Tom's eyes widened. "You've got to be kidding me. That's Chief Monroe?" Mark nodded, panic setting in. "We just pulled over our boss. We're screwed." Tom glanced nervously toward Olivia, who sat patiently in her car. "What do we do?" Mark took a deep breath, apologized profusely. The two officers approached Olivia's car, their demeanor entirely different. Mark cleared his throat. "Ma'am, we had no idea who you were. We deeply apologize for the misunderstanding." Olivia raised an eyebrow. "Misunderstanding? You pulled me over without cause, made assumptions, and treated me like a criminal. That's not a misunderstanding. That's profiling." Tom stammered. "We were just doing our jobs." Olivia's expression hardened. "Your job is to protect and serve, not to harass and intimidate. Is this how you treat everyone who doesn't look familiar?" The officers were silent, their shame evident. Olivia stepped out of her car, standing tall despite the rain. "Let me be clear. This kind of behavior is exactly why I was brought here, to change the culture of this department. And trust me, change is coming." Mark and Tom exchanged nervous glances as Olivia got back into her car and drove off toward the station. By the time Olivia arrived at the station, word of the incident had spread among the staff. She walked into the building with quiet confidence, her wet coat dripping onto the tiled floor. Officers and staff members froze, unsure how to greet her. Captain Harris, the acting head of the department until Olivia's arrival, stepped forward. "Chief Monroe, welcome to Crestwood," he said, extending a hand. Olivia shook it firmly. Thank you, Captain. Let's get started. She addressed the entire department in the briefing room, her voice commanding attention. This morning, I had an interesting interaction with two of your officers. It highlighted a problem that I'm sure many of you already know exists here: bias and a lack of accountability. That ends now. The room was silent as Olivia continued. I'm here to lead, but I'm also here to listen. My goal is to build trust, not just within this department, but with the community we serve. That means higher standards, better training, and zero tolerance for misconduct. Mark and Tom sat in the back, their faces red with embarrassment. Olivia concluded, I believe in this department's potential, but we have a lot of work to do, and it starts today. Over the next few weeks, Olivia implemented sweeping changes. She introduced mandatory training on implicit bias and de-escalation tactics. She established an anonymous reporting system for officers to hold each other accountable. She also hosted town hall meetings to rebuild trust with the community. Mark and Tom, deeply affected by their encounter with Olivia, became some of her strongest advocates. They admitted their mistakes publicly and committed to becoming better officers. Under Olivia's leadership, the Crestwood Police Department transformed. Crime rates dropped, community relations improved, and the department became a model for others across the state. Olivia's story made headlines, inspiring other departments to reevaluate their practices. She proved that leadership isn't about power. It's about courage, accountability, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. Her journey served as a powerful reminder that change is possible, even in the most resistant environments, when people are willing to stand up for what's right.